New month, new inked up video, and there are not very many changes this month, but there are some fun pens that I've got inked this month, so let's go through them all. I am using a River City Pen Company Kakamori nib holder for all of these, and a Kakamori steel nib. First up is Diamine Celadon Cat, which is still in the Leonardo Limited Pens Korea Limited Edition 37. I never remember what the colorway is called. It's got a flex nib. It's gold. It was from SBRE Brown. And it keeps getting Celadon Cat because I can't find a better match for this pen. And even though Celadon Cat is not my favorite color, until I find a better match for this pen, Celadon Cat is going to continue to go into this pen. And I do quite like Celadon Cat with the flex nib, actually. This colorway from Leonardo does have a name, I just never remember what it is. Next up we have another Diamine ink, which is unusual because historically I haven't loved their inks. I find their bottles really hard to open, which is proof because I couldn't actually get the lid off of this bottle. This is the Sand Between Your Toes, which was actually sent to me by somebody on YouTube. And this is my Golden Gratitude Estie from ESTERBROOK with a fine nib on it. Now, I love this ink and pen combo. I was worried that it was going to be too light with this fine nib. It's not. It's stunning. It's so pretty, and I think it's super readable. And you do get some shading with it. So I'm so happy to have a larger bottle of it now. I just am annoyed with the fact that I can't get the cap off myself. So I'm going to have to figure out a solution there. And then we have the Kaweco Sport, again, with everyone's favorite purple ink that has been discontinued. And I'm sad that I didn't buy a second bottle of it. So this is Dominant Industries Evening, which perfectly matches this Kakamori dip holder. It's such a lovely purple color, and I absolutely adore it, but I will not be able to get another bottle of it. It always goes in this pen. This pen has only ever had this color ink in it and has been inked up now for months with this color, and I'm sad that I only ever got one bottle. I did try and get another bottle of it at Wonder Pens. They didn't have it in stock. So, one bottle for me. And then next up is something that I was very sad has been discontinued. Ferris Wheel Press has just discontinued about, I think in total it's about 40 colors. And I may or may not have placed an order for another bottle of this, even though I've got an 85 sitting on my shelf. This is Dusk and Bloom. This has been in this mellow blue Kaweco Sport medium nib for over a year. It's the only ink that goes in this pen. This is my go-to blue ink. And I ordered another 85 ml bottle of this ink because it is, in my mind, the perfect blue. It is so pretty. It is such a fun, dusty blue. And I am so sad that it has been discontinued. I've also just realized the next two colors are also discontinued by Ferris Wheel Press. They discontinued almost all of my favorite colors, and I have repurchased some of them. I didn't repurchase this next one though, but I've finally sort of settled on an ink for my stub-ish Pelikan M205 Rose Quartz pen with a nib that Matthew Chen had worked on recently. It's got Ferris Wheel Press Pink Eraser in it, which is absolutely stunning in the pen. I'm still not sure if that's the ink that's going to go in it permanently, but it is a super fun pink ink in the pen, and I do think it goes pretty well. So we'll see what pink is next in the sort of lottery of pinks. For now, though, Ferris Wheel Press Pink Eraser, which also has been discontinued. I only ever had a part bottle of this ink. I bought it secondhand, but it is a fun color, and I'm sad to see it go. The camera does not show how pink it is. It's like pink school eraser pink. And then we have the TWSBI. Now, I'm trying to run this dry. I naively did a full fill on the TWSBI. I never do a full fill on this pen, even though it's got a broad nib, because I put Madame Mulberry from Ferris Wheel Press in it. Madame Mulberry is one of my favorite colors. I should have been able to run this pen dry. I was not able to run this pen dry. I have barely made a dent in this pen, but I'm going to have to now run it dry because they've discontinued the color and I don't want to waste it. I did I buy another? They were sold out of the 85s when I went to buy a bottle, so I couldn't get an 85 of it. I think I want to say I got another 38 ml, which is ridiculous because I already had another 38 ml. And then we have what has gone in my BENU, which has now been eyedroppered. I have not put out the video of that yet, but the BENU has been eyedroppered. It's got Ferris wheel press russet type case in it. I'm not normally an orangey person. I love it. It's a super great fall color. I think it looks super fun in the BENU. And I think eyedroppered in that BENU, it just looks fabulous. So I was happy to get that pen eyedroppered. And the video for that should be out in the next couple days if I sort of get my life together. We'll see if that happens. But I think it looks so good eyedroppered. And it's a pretty good match for parts of the pen because it's a pretty ombre pen. I also finally filled another Parker 21. It's been a hot second since I've had a Parker 21 in rotation. And for whatever reason, I decided to put Ferris wheel press Oyster Hour in it. I'm not sure why that was the ink I went with, but I did. I think I just wanted to try the ink in a finer nib. And honestly, I do like it in a fine nib. I wanted like a pale browny color, and I thought that sesame oil was going to fit that for me, and sesame oil is just a bit too dark. But I do like Oyster Hour, and once I run something else dry, it's going to go into a different pen. I'm less a fan of traveling with Parkers these days. Plated gold tresses. No one's surprised by this color. If you've watched any of my other inked up videos, this is in a Kaweco Sport Bordeaux double broad pen. I think I'm on my second bottle of this ink. I keep desperately hoping they're going to come out with it in the 85 ml bottles because they've done it for some of the shimmers, but they don't seem to be backdating it for any of the fairy tales. But I need them to backdate it for this fairy tale because I adore it. And it is my go-to gold. It's so sparkly. It's so much fun. Then we have Montblanc, Midnight Blue. I think this is the only ink that's been in this pen. This is the NAHVALUR Glacier Horizon in a broad nib. I adore the color gradient of blues on this pen, but I do think this is the only ink that's been in this pen. And it's a great color. It's a great pen. I really love how smooth the nib is in this pen. There are some people who have been having issues with their nibs recently. This one's from the spring though and seems to be fine. Then we have a Kaweco Sport highlighter with the Pelikan highlighter ink. This ink glows. I should not have used my Kakamori with this ink, and I regretted using my Kakamori with this ink because it was hard to get out, and it's hard to photograph this ink on camera. But this ink glows and is pretty, and is actually really useful. I do use it for underlining things in my planner. It's a Kaweco Ice Glow. It's got the 1.9 millimeter nib on it, and it's super fun. So I did regret the choice of actually dipping the Kakamori in it though. I will say for this next pen, I did not get the name of it correct, which is hilarious because it's been in inked up videos since the summer. But this is Sailor Manual Haha, which is in the Sailor Pro Gear Slim Follow the Mermaid, not whatever I wrote on the page. It's a super fun pen. It's the first Sailor Pro Gear. Actually, it's the first Sailor I own. It's super fun. It's sparkly. It's blue. It's purple. It's everything I wanted in a Sailor. And it's super cute. And then I discovered that I accidentally screwed up stamping the book. So we have now glued together that page so that it will no longer get in the way and bug me. And we have my architect nib. Now, I plan to get Matthew Chen to put an architect on one of my, was it a Kaweco nib? I think it was a Kaweco nib. Instead, I got a Cursive Italic Smooth. So currently my only architect is still the JinHao 82 with an architect, but it's fine. This has Sailor Manyo Sakura in it. Again, I'm running it dry. This was a very summer color. We are out of summer. Now we're getting into the fun stuff. This is Wearingeul Robin Crusoe with a Kaweco Green Cursive Italic Smooth nib done by Matthew Chen. I love it. I love it because it's everything that I want from a stub, except I rotate too much to use a stub. So this is perfect. The nib was a double broad, which has now become a Cursive Italic Smooth. So I am very much in love and adoring it. And then the last two pens this month both have waterproof ink in them. The first is actually a Octopus Fluid Certified Document ink, which is a completely separate line from their Octopus Fluid Write and Draw line. And so I have mine in a Faber-Castell Neo Slim Rose Gold. I think mostly because I wanted a nib that wasn't a extra fine, and the only other pen that I had that I could potentially put it in was an extra fine, and I just wanted something a little bit bigger. It's a very pretty color for a waterproof ink, and I'm really enjoying writing with it. And then finally, comes as no surprise, but our final ink of the night is the HongDian Forest Extra Fine Rainbow pen with Sailor Kirigiro. Now, I've now used so much of my bottle that it's an absolute pain to ink my pen, and so I think I'm approaching the point that my ink will be transferred into sample vials, because it is so annoying to ink that pen from the bottle these days. I literally can't do it without getting ink all over my hands, but it is a stunning black ink, and I absolutely adore using it. It is such a great black, and I'm going to need a new bottle at some point.